Welcome to Uncopyable Women in Business. I'm your host, Kay Miller, also known as Muffler Mama. Stay tuned as I, along with my guests, give you marketing, sales, and personal branding strategies that will give you an uncopyable advantage. In this episode, I'm talking with Holly Oldham. Holly is a freelance writer, author, comedic poet, solopreneur, speaker, daily volunteer, shoreline custodian, we'll hear about that, mom of 4, and grandparent. Holly, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Kay. Thanks for having me. So fun.
It was really fun getting to know you before you came on. I went down the rabbit hole and watched videos and learned more about you. If you're not watching this, you listening, Holly is a spunky gal. Spiky hair, I love that. I told her I wish I had the guts to do that. Sitting on her luxury love seat because we're going to talk about the cleaning business that she has and the type of moose, if you're familiar with that, the type of target market that she goes after. So first of all, Holly, we talked before we started, and I'd like you to give us a brief history of Holly. And there's a lot, so I can't wait. Where would you start?
A brief history of Holly timeline. I started cleaning my mother's refrigerator when I was like 3. I was the youngest of 4. There were 3 boys and me, and I was just not allowed to be around. The boys didn't want me around. So and of course they had the Atari. So I had to do something to keep myself busy. I had my Barbie house and I was decorating that. And then I would clean out my mother's refrigerator. And I knew I wanted to be a mother young. I had 4 children and I became the stay-at-home mommy that I always wanted to be. My home was my castle. And I learned that having 4 children in my 20s was a little bit more expensive. I got the 3rd.
Diapers alone.
Yeah. And then it wasn't just that. It was all of the sports activities and all the functions. My children were always very active. And I knew how to schedule. I knew how to plan. I knew how to set myself up for success for the day, because if I didn't wake up an hour or so earlier, I would have all the kids calling me mommy all the time. I decided in my 30s that I was like, we need to make more money. So I started as my first cleaning business, and I built 309 clients in less than 5 years in 3 counties. I got up at 4:30 in the morning and I would pull myself together, wear a suit, go to networking meetings at 7:30. And after the networking meetings, I would go into the bathroom like Superwoman and change my clothes and go clean somebody's house. And I ended up building a wonderful relationship with the groups that I was networking with. And one day somebody decided to give me a chance. And then it was just referral based after that. So it was just referral. And I originally started that cleaning business by myself as well. Ended up having to have an emergency hysterectomy due to endometriosis. I ended up having to hire people because I couldn't do the work. And I grew from there. I found out after a period of time that the business was no longer mine. Like my name, I was the owner, I was the president, and then I found out that I wasn't anymore. So with my life the way that it was not working out the way that I had planned, I decided to take a step back. I don't necessarily know that was the best choice to do at the time. However, looking back, now that I've created my second business, this time solo, specifically looking for luxury clientele, just because they have money, but because of the mindset. Like they own their own businesses. You can't own your own business and take care of your home, take care of your family, and be successful if you're doing all these other things behind the scenes. So the behind the scenes stuff really matters, right, Kate?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If delegate what you can, I do that off and on, had house cleaners. Right now, it's just my husband and I, but I have a VA. So yes, busy people, successful people, you don't want to do things like that. You want to do the things that only you can do. So I totally agree.
I remembered when I had my first cleaning company, the people that I had during the day on Fridays, I scheduled them to clean my house.
That's really funny. It
was fabulous because why do I want to clean my house? If I have all these people that are working for me, why am I going to clean my own house? So I know what it's like to be a busy parent, be a busy entrepreneur, be a busy wife, and just not have the time. So I do the clients that I care for, which are very few because I'm a solo cleaner. I'm not trying to clean a gazillion houses. And I needed to increase my rates because I needed to make more money. That's what I did. How did you base your rates off of? I needed more money. There was nothing that I followed. I went from $25 an hour for residential and commercial cleaning because I had to relearn the cleaning process. I was coming back in 2021 in the middle of COVID. People were freaking out about anybody being in their house with germs and all these things. So I learned, one, I didn't have a vacuum cleaner to clean a house. Like, I just didn't have it. So I sold it to people that when I started getting referrals again, because I reached back to the people I had networked with in the first cleaning business, they were like, oh my gosh, yeah. So they were like, you're back in business? So I started getting referrals, but I didn't have a vacuum cleaner. So when I got on the phone with the clients, before I go over there to go clean their house, there's a conversation that needs to happen. Do you have a vacuum cleaner? I do. Oh, good. Because my policy, I do not use my own vacuum cleaner because of COVID. We don't want to be spreading germs from house to house. Now, in my experience, I would never let anybody use anybody else's vacuum cleaner that they've used in somebody else's house in my home. So if you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, that is the one thing that you need to talk about when you're hiring. Make sure not to use their vacuum. Use yours. And if you don't have one, I can recommend which one you need to use because I know which ones work. So the cleaning business for me not only has it been helped me create financial freedom, I left my home with $100 in my wallet to save myself from the environment that I was living in. It wasn't safe. It wasn't healthy. It was toxic. And I chose to leave with $100 in my wallet. And now I have this 4.5 years later. Why? Because I was hungry.
Hungry. And that's something that they say about good salespeople. I shouldn't say they say. It's true if you're motivated. And hungry to me has a negative connotation, but you do have to be looking for business. You have to be strategic. You networked and you also have a great reputation. And so that's where you get the word of mouth if someone's really happy with you. And I know you went from $25 an hour. I don't know if you care to share your rates, but I do know that it's a luxury service at a luxury price. And I saw one of your videos. You said the cat needs petting. I'm giving the cat some love. So Sebastian, I think it was. So what needs to be done? You organize, you do all kinds of services, and you're compensated for that. So I respect that. If you're good enough, raise your rates. Anybody listening, if you've got too much business, raise your rates.
And I just want to go back to what you were saying about hungry. I was literally hungry, Kay. I did not have any money. It's not just a metaphor. I was hungry.
Literally.
I needed to eat. I had no money. And so what I did was, and the reason why I didn't have any money was because I ran into a rideshare problem. I was working for Lyft and Uber during just when I got divorced. And the registration, if you remember the mail back during COVID, it was just lacking and it would take forever. I had paid for my registration in October. My birthday's in December 30th. I still didn't have my registration. And Lyft and Uber, they want you to upload it to their system. I wasn't able to. In the DMV, Florida Department of Motor Vehicles, I was there. However, I didn't have work. I'm going, oh my gosh, what do I do now? So I went back to what I knew and I built a better business model. From the very beginning, when I started this business in January 2021, I started taking notes and pictures because I wanted to make a repeatable process for other maybe women who are victims of domestic violence like myself. And I had to get out. I was literally saving my life, Kay. And when I tell you I'm grateful, it's more than that. It's just more than that. And with your book, Uncopyable Sales Secrets, your Sherlock Holmes, that's important. You have to investigate who it is that you want to care for. I'm not interested in caring for somebody that is going to go around and nitpick and put something in one position and turn it another way to see if I touch that. I'm not trying to deal with people like that. The people that I care for, I'm in their $1 million properties. They relinquish full control. If I tell them that they need to get something, they get it. If I tell them they need to change their AC, we need to schedule a pressure cleaner. We need to schedule the pool guy. We need a pest guy. Guess what? I'm scheduling those things.
Say, do you call yourself now? I know you referred to house manager. Is that what you call your service now when you're working with someone?
I wanted more money. So I created a new title. As simple as that. Like, I desire to have more money. I desire to have the $10,000 payment from my one client. And because of that, I did it, Kay.
I love that. And we talk about don't just think outside the box, build your own box. And so if define whatever your whole service as something different than everyone else, then you totally set yourself apart. And you do that and you decide, like you said, you want moose who can afford your services, but you don't want moose that are like nitpicking. So you really decide who you want to work with. And I think your reputation really allows you to do that.
Yes. And it's all about branding, of course. If my name means something, my business means something, the things that I do in public matter. Why? Because I have a lot to lose. And in business, it's important to show up the way that you want to be seen. I want to be seen as someone that you know and trust. If I'm in your home, folding all of your underwear, putting your guns away, finding alcohol and drugs because you just cannot wrap your head around it because there's something like that happening in your home, I'm able to do that. And my clients trust me because of that. 1,000,000,000%.
I want to take a quick break to ask you a question. Does your personal brand set you apart and make you unforgettable? If you're not 100% sure, you need my free email series, 5 Steps to a Profitable Personal Brand. Sign up and get a daily email for 5 days plus a bonus, a list of personal branding shortcuts that will give you an uncopyable advantage. Go to beuncopyable.com/5-emails.
If I bill my clients in advance for work that's not even been completed, do you know any other cleaning person that really just doesn't, that does? I don't know anybody else that's doing what it is that I'm doing.
And you have contractor agreements with people, right?
Of course, all smart business people do. I have to protect myself and I have to protect my clients too. When I tell people that I just received over a $10,000 payment from one client for future cleanings, people don't believe me, Kay. And here's the thing. I don't need to prove it to anybody. I created a program. I told you from the very beginning, I wanted to create this model that you already have a cleaning business. Let's say you already have a cleaning business and you'd like to be able to work part-time and make full-time pay. What a concept. Make more, make work less. This is my goal. I don't know what anybody else's goal in business is, but that's my goal, right? I want to work less, make more. And people are paying me to exercise. I'm in the best shape physically, mentally, spiritually that I've ever been in my life. People pay me to bend over, cleaning, bending down, because as we age, what's one of the most common things that women talk about as they age? Knees and their hips. They can't do it anymore for one reason or another. Here's the thing. I spent my 40s learning about nutrition, Kay. I had 4 children, ran marathons, half marathons, all in my 30s, built a successful cleaning business with 309 clients, right? And I didn't know anything about nutrition. We had one. So my 40s, I've spent learning about nutrition, why it's important to have non-toxic products in your home, why it's important to create a space that you're going to thrive in, separate from your bedroom. If you have your office in your bedroom, it's not separate, it's together. And how can you have peace? It's important to separate these rooms in your home to make a difference in your life, whether it's personal or business. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. I think you said your environment's a reflection of you. And so it's important. I saw that you said make your bed, which is a simple thing, but easy to do, easy not to do. I'm also into fitness. And like a lot of people, I go hot and cold sometimes. COVID shut me down. I was actually doing spin every day. And when I'm exercising, I feel so much better. As we talked about, I know you're huge into mindset and being our body and our brain obviously are connected. And as you said, squats and lunges and with lifting weights, especially I'm older than you, they talk about functional fitness. You need to bring the groceries in or whatever. So I think it's interesting that you say you're getting paid to exercise. I'm sure you don't have to go to the gym.
No, I don't go to the gym. They're dirty. They're disgusting. You look up. I specialize in a special commercial cleaning. I also do it for residential too, but area 7 feet and above. So when you go to restaurants, if you're listening, I'm sure a lot of you have gone to at least one restaurant in the last month, right? However, when you sit down, make sure you look up. And the darker the restaurant, the dirtier it is. All right. It's the same thing in a gym. When you lay down and you're doing a bench press, right? Do you want to look up at the TVs and see the dust hanging from them while you're breathing that in, not to mention the sweat and the grease and all the other things? No. So I have a lovely path that I take. This morning, I started running again the last couple of weeks. Always been a walker. However, I'm turning 50 at the end of the year. And I'm like, wait, I'm turning a new decade. Maybe we're going to train for a new marathon. I haven't registered for one yet. However, I'd like to think that because I have the thought in my head about moving forward to doing a marathon again, that it's going to set me up for success, just like making the bed. I started making my bed on a daily basis, not because I heard some mindset stuff. It was because it kept me out of it. I was depressed. I didn't have my children. I was divorced. It kept me out of bed by making my bed. So when I tell you I talk about self-love and mental wellness and spiritual healing and positivity and gratitude, I am walking the talk that I talk and practicing right along with you. Like I don't have to go to your house to clean it because my house, like everything in the house has a spot. Why? Because I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to have nothing.
And you said you were actually grateful for your path, even though it was so rough. You said you're grateful for it because it brought you to where you are today, right?
Absolutely. And absolutely. And here's the thing. The person that, I'm trying to find the right words here, contributed to the parental alienation. Okay. I would never wish it on that person either. I know what it's like. It's terrible. Divorce is one thing. Parental alienation is a worldwide epidemic, far worse than divorce. And I'm here to tell you that it's possible to move forward, whether you are experiencing parental alienation, whether you're experiencing divorce, whether you're experiencing, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I cannot stay in this environment anymore, but I can't financially take care of myself. Reach out to me. You can Google pause, reflect, move forward and find me on almost any platform. And if you just need positivity, you could just follow me. You don't even need to message me. You can just say, oh, Holly's got this positive message. And you know what? Most of the time it's for me. It's not just for you. I'm doing it for me too. And it happens to bless you too. Then that's even better, right?
Yes. And I did look at your Facebook and you use a lot of humor. As I mentioned, I have written humor in the past and I try to include a lot of humor in what I do, my writing and speaking. But you have some really funny memes and some really positive sayings. And right before the interview, we were talking about the fact that I've interviewed a couple people out of all the interviews I've done where the women say, I was born happy. But not everybody can say that. And you and I were saying we have to work at it. And gratitude, of course, is a great way to do that. And just keeping that positivity in front of you and manifesting. I don't know if you like that word, but I like manifesting because you're thinking about what you want, but you're also acting towards those goals.
Yeah, paying attention to your thoughts obviously matters as an entrepreneur. If you are beating yourself up, like for example, like that $10,000 sale that I told you, right? So I had a $10,000 sale, I'm doing the email back and forth. And after I send it, because I gave her options, which one do you like? I only gave her 2 options. I should have given a third option. This is what I learned. I should have given her a third option because the other times I've given third options, I got the one that I really wanted her to take. I didn't, or in the past, not her, but just a person in general. And it's important that we're just aware of it, not beating ourselves up over what we should have done. Just make sure we're applying it the next time. It's sales. I love everything and anything to do with a sale, receiving a sale and giving a sale. And it also helps that my rates are higher. So if I give a sale, too much. But in the cleaning industry, if you're listening and you already have a cleaning industry or you consider going into an industry, you cannot rely on gratuity. It is essential to not rely on it. And if you can't rely on it, what do? You need to increase your rate. So it compensates it for it. And then when you do get the gratuity, you're like, right? Because exactly. And so unfortunately, there are a lot of people, men, women, that are in this industry and they're not making any money. Or I know you've known somebody in the past that's had a cleaning business and they like, oh, I did this, I did that. They didn't continue. Why? Why do you think they didn't continue? One, because they weren't making any money. And two, because it was killing them. But what if you made enough money and you were giving your body what it needed and using products that wouldn't make you sick to help you through the empty nester season of your life? Stay-at-home parents, we have skills that other people don't have. If you're a woman or man and you've been in the corporate world your whole life and you have 4 kids like me, you don't have the scheduling skills that I have, the multitasking skills I have when it comes to a home in business. I'm talking about in a home. So if you had those skills and you're a stay-at-home parent, you're considering leaving your spouse, it's all about strategy, right? You need to be surrounded with people who have taken the path that you've already done. Am I telling you to leave your spouse?
No, I hope not.
If it benefits you in your situation, then yes. However, but my goal here is to say that you don't have to stay for financial reasons. That's why I stayed in a terrible relationship, in a terrible environment, because I thought that it would be good for me to stay for the kids. Guess what? Was the worst thing I could have done was stay for the kids. I should have left for the kids because eventually I decided and I was like, all right, this is happening.
I want to touch on a couple things you said. And one, as just a sales strategy, I love the 3 options: good, better, best. And usually the better, the one in the middle, is the one that you really want. And the client, you can say, this is an inferior service or whatever. And then if you get the top one, it's bingo, right? Bingo, bingo. I want to mention that you do actually have a course to help other people, and probably not just women, but I'm guessing that most house cleaners are women, but you have a program to help them develop the kind of business that you have. So do you want to mention that?
Of course. So I called myself a solo cleaner, a solopreneur, right? So what if from solo cleaner to essential house manager, right? The title alone gives you clothes. Just the title alone. And that's why I did it, because I was already doing all of these things. I increased my clients' rates this year. They didn't hesitate. They were like, okay, Holly, here's 3 months in advance. Here's 1 month in advance, which is how I normally bill. I bill in 1 month increments, unless I'm running a sale. Because why? You're saving your money. Because here's the thing, when QuickBooks, right? My full 8-hour rate for residential clients, and I travel the country doing this for people. Okay. So I've cleaned in Maine and Wisconsin, more than half of the country. I've done this. I go up for the weekend and I clean. And then I have regular weekly clients too. But when you put your rates at $660 for cleaning a house, people will be like, what? What are you doing? And you know what? I've gotten accused of so many things. Okay. And it's not the type of business that I run. I've been accused in groups of, what is it that you're doing for that amount of money? I'm cleaning somebody's house. What I'm doing. So people's perception, and that's what it is. It's all about perception. Wait a second. And here's the thing, even if I did show them that $10,000 deposit, it was more than 10, it was 10,400 or whatever with gratuity. They would have told me that I shopped it, because the mindset there isn't right. And not because they're wrong, but it's just because they can't see it themselves. So I saw it myself. I visualized it, manifested it. And here I am working a couple days a week, creating $80,000 to $100,000 a year, cleaning people's houses.
And you do say, when you say house manager, I love that. As I said, you are building your own box instead of being compared to others, but you are doing more than cleaning. You talked about organizing. You talked about taking care of their,
I do
whatever.
meal prep. I do meal prep.
So for that price,
they need. Yeah.
So you're defining it totally differently. So that's great. So tell us before we run out of time, what is your course and how can you access that as a listener? And then I'm also going to remind everyone that I will put links to Holly's resources and how you can find her in the show notes. So tell us about that course real quick.
So the course is From Solo Cleaner to Essential House Manager. The link is on my social media. You can find me on Facebook. I'm more on Facebook than anything else. I've made the most money on Facebook. I don't know why more people don't sell on their personal Facebook timelines. I'm telling you, if I've made in the 15 years that I've been on Facebook, I've probably made $500,000 from all my businesses. I don't know why
no paid ads. I want to clarify. You said no paid ads.
Never once, because it's all about branding. So anybody that knows me knows that I have orange, just like you. Yes. Your branding is orange. But I also love turtles. I have a turtle necklace. I
you have a turtle next to you.
Yeah, and I've been taking care of turtles my whole life. This is my first tortoise. And of course, it talks about the strategy of the sales, the branding, social media, the networking. That's essential. Networking in person and online is imperative, especially if you're trying to get in people's houses. I believe, one, people pay me mostly for energy. I've been told that they want my positive energy in their house. So energy is for sale. It's not just your electric company.
And you definitely are very energetic.
And because I love cleaning, I know that the work that I'm doing is benefiting the people that are paying me. I know that this work helps them. And so when you find the need for something like From Solo Cleaner to Essential House Manager, my program, I have it listed for $297. It includes the contract. I put a price on it, a minimal price, because I wanted it to be accessible to anybody in any budget. But it's imperative that you have a contract. If anything you take from my program, you just download the contract. It's going to save you so much money, because the less expensive the clients are, the more expensive the challenges are that come with them. So raise your rates, raise your head, and take charge of your business and make it happen.
One thing I love about house cleaning, and as I said, I've done it off and on, mostly on, but right now I'm taking a break from that. And you as a house cleaner, you can get the instant result. You go into a house that's not clean and you walk out and it's pristine. They've, of course, taken everything off the counters and everything so you can clean, or maybe you do that for them. You do it all. Okay. You're a house manager. That's why. And you've branded yourself to be different than everyone else. Not having to clean everything off the counter. That's huge. I love that, because
that's right. That's right. I've talked to other cleaners. They charge extra to wash dishes. And I said, what? You do what? Yeah, I charge, depending upon, it's an extra $25 to $50 upcharge. And I'm like, if I charged my clients $25 or $50 extra to wash their dishes, I would be out of a job.
And you've priced yourself in a way that you don't have to do that. And I think that is true. You're dinging them for this or that. Instead, you're saying, this is my package. I will take care of your home. So for your clientele, you said a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs, they want something
but not a lot.
Not a lot?
I
thought you said that was your market. No?
It is my market, but I don't have a lot of clients because I do not want to clean a lot of homes. I raised my rates to work part-time for the clients that I choose. Solo cleaners, they're working a gazillion hours, going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe jobs a day. And they're making nothing and dead at the end of the day, and they don't have any energy for their family. Raise your rates, shorten the time that you're cleaning, and have the time that you need with your family. I was on a Monday. I was visiting my grandchild and my daughter on a Monday. What other cleaning company or solo cleaner do you know that doesn't clean on a Monday? When you own your own business, you're able to make your own choices, your own hours, your own flexibility, work when you want, work when you don't want. And that's what From Solo Cleaner to Essential House Manager is. And I hope that it adds value and that you take advantage of the contract that's there. You can do it for a weekly client or an annual client, however you need to structure it.
And that is great advice. That is so helpful. You've got really specific things that you offer. So I have to say, you are very high energy. And through the years, I've had housekeepers or whatever we call them that move slow like turtles. And you obviously get it done. So I really appreciate our conversation, the energy, inspiration, but also the really specific things that you do, and raise your rates. If you've got the reputation that you do, if you do really good work, then you can do that. And so I think that's really good advice. Holly, we're going to close this out. And I don't know if you have any closing words. I think we've covered everything. Do you have any last words?
Don't wait. Don't wait. If you have this idea in your head and you want to start your business, whether it's in sales or it's in the cleaning industry, don't wait, because the time is not coming back.
So go for it. You listening? Wow. Holly, you are, like I said, a great inspiration. So I really appreciate you being on the show. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Kay. Have a great sales day.
Thanks for listening to this episode. See you next time, and always remember to be uncopyable.